Something was wrong. A world with no light, no answers, and no sense of safety was about to make the greatest invention in human history. And it wasn't fire or tools or language, it was belief. Picture this: a storm tearing across the sky, the wind screaming like a warning, and a group of early humans huddled together, trembling. They had no science, no maps, no way to explain anything. But in that terrifying moment, when lightning split the heavens open, something powerful happened, something that would shape every civilization that came after. They created meaning, and they didn't even know they were changing the world. Have you ever wondered why humans believe in anything at all? Why every tribe, every kingdom, every nation invented sacred stories, rules, and unseen forces that somehow guided entire societies? What if religion was never just about gods, but the first technology humans ever built? Not a tool you hold in your hand, but a tool you hold in your mind. And it all began long before written words, long before cities, long before anyone knew what the sun or the moon really were. What you're about to hear isn't spiritual, it's human. It's the real history of religion and how belief didn't just shape our world. It made us who we are. But to understand that, we need to step back into the darkness where it all started. Imagine standing in the wild 50,000 years ago. No lights, no cities, just the sound of night animals and a sky that felt angry and alive. Early humans woke up every day not knowing if they would survive. Lightning felt like a giant throwing fire. Sickness felt like an invisible enemy. Death felt like a door no one ever returned through. So they did what humans do best. They told stories. Simple stories at first. Nature became a face people could talk to. A river became a spirit. A storm became a warning. Ancestors became guides. Fear turned into belief. And belief turned into unity. Because here's the part most people miss. Tribes that believed in the same things survived better. Trust grew. Cooperation grew. People became a team instead of scattered strangers. Religion wasn't about worship. It was about staying alive. But unity has a strange side effect. Once you gather people together, you create power. And once power appears, someone tries to control it, and that's where the story twists. Humans eventually learned to farm, and farming forced them to live in bigger groups. Bigger groups meant bigger problems. Who owns this land? Who settles this fight? Who decides what's right or wrong? Human rules weren't enough. People needed something above them, like a referee nobody could argue with. So religion quietly took on a new job. It became the invisible judge watching everyone's actions. And this idea changed everything. Stealing wasn't only dangerous, it offended the spirit world. Lying wasn't just harmful. It was a moral crack that could bring bad luck. Murder wasn't only tragic, it broke the balance of the universe. Egypt followed Maat, the belief that truth and harmony held the world together. Mesopotamia claimed their laws came directly from the gods. Ancient China said rulers could only lead if heaven allowed it. Religion became humanity's first operating system, guiding behavior, creating rules, and tying people together under shared meaning. But humans wanted more than stories. They wanted permanence. They wanted to make belief last forever. And then something happened that would change religion in a way nobody could have imagined. Writing arrived. At first, it was simple marks on clay. Then it became symbols on scrolls. And suddenly, stories that once faded with memory could now survive centuries. Myths like the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Vedas, the Torah, Greek epics, and Egyptian funerary texts didn't just describe gods. They described people's identity. These weren't just tales, they were mirrors. They told people who they were, where they came from, and how they should live. Religion gave birth to heroes, villains, rituals, and lessons about right and wrong. People no longer believed just to survive, they believed to belong. But belonging draws a line, and once there's a we, there's always a they. And that's when religion stepped into the throne room. Societies grew into kingdoms. Kingdoms grew into empires. And rulers needed a way to prove they deserved to lead. So they reached for the most powerful idea on earth: divine approval. Pharaohs declared themselves gods. Chinese emperors ruled only if heaven agreed. European kings proclaimed they were chosen by God. Priests controlled calendars, knowledge, rituals, everything that made life predictable. Religion became government long before actual governments existed. It united millions across huge distances. It inspired Buddhism's compassion across Asia, Christianity's community in Europe, Islam's unity across the Middle East and Africa, and countless indigenous religions that shaped art, nature, law, and identity. But power has a shadow. Religion brought people together, and it also justified wars, crusades, and persecution. It built civilizations, and it burned them down. And yet, even after science revealed how storms form, how the sun rises, and what causes disease, religion didn't fade away. Why? Because religion was never only about explaining nature. It was about explaining us. People still seek purpose, community, identity, comfort, a compass when life feels impossible, a story that makes the world feel less chaotic. Even those who are not religious still live inside a world built from religious ideas: human rights, marriage traditions, holidays, law, moral codes, concepts of good and evil. These are all echoes of ancient belief systems. You may not visit a temple or read a sacred book, but you still live in a world shaped by countless generations. Who did? And now comes the question humanity cannot escape. If religion shaped our past, what will it shape next? Religion didn't just influence history, it created humanity. It built tribes, cities, laws, morals, and the stories we still tell today. It guided how people loved, how they fought, how they raised their children, and how they made sense of life and death. Whether you believe or not, you are standing on the foundation laid by millions of years of belief. And understanding the history of religion is really understanding the history of us, see? But there's a deeper layer to this story, one almost nobody talks about. How did humans first discover the idea of a god in the first place? How did belief evolve? That mystery is waiting in the next chapter. If this opened your mind or gave you a new way to see our past, tap the like button so others can find it. Tell me in the comments what part of this shocked you the most. And if you're ready for the next step, the next video uncovers how ancient civilizations first discovered God. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Stay curious. The story is just beginning.